Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining the alternate and historical fiction track. And all of our fantastic panelists today, we are going to give you a primer in the Dragon Con cults. So that way, the next time you come to the con, you can know all of the insider information. And getting us started is going to be Laura. She is our moderator today and running the show. So thank you all so much. And you can check out our YouTube and social media for more panels. Bye.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura, like she said, and welcome to the panel about the Dragon Con cults. One of the most interesting things about Dragon Con is that we kind of have a fandom and a culture all of our own, built up from fan things. It's not really, I can't even think of really another con that has something quite like this. But as a result, we have created these sort of cult fandoms built from things that happened at the con, or as a result of changes or variations or whatever that has happened throughout the years. This can be really confusing to people who are newbies who weren't there for them or who just kind of had no idea what was going on. You just see people wearing weird patterns or googly eyes. So that being said, this is to give you guys some information or just talk about stuff that's cool because I think it's pretty neat. I like pretending to be the historian of this sort of thing just because I love lore. And I think it's a really interesting and fascinating thing that we've all built up together as fans of the con. So a lot has happened. This goes pretty far back. We have several incredible people here, legends in and of themselves, who are part of the cults, who helped started the cults, who helped spread the word of the cults, as you will. So if we want to start, I think a pretty good place to start would be the one, the only, the eternal Zan, who is our person in charge of the Marriott carpet, which is probably the most prominent one you will see here at Dragon Con. So Zan, if you don't mind, if you can take it away.
Oh, I thought you were going to start with Tony with that build-up. I was like, me? What?
Well, you do have a tiara, so.
Okay, well, thank you. Sorry, just my outfit outranks Tony today, I guess, because Tony has had some fabulous outfits, so that's
this is true.
High praise. Yeah, hi, my name is Eternal Zan. I'm a longtime Eternal member at Dragon Con. Eternal, for those, since we're explaining things for first timers, Eternal members are people who bought a lifetime membership. So you buy it once, you never have to buy it again. You're grandfathered in. You don't have to worry about membership caps or anything else. You can go to every Dragon Con forever. It's awesome. And I'm the founder of the Cult of Marriott Carpet at Dragon Con. So it was originally a parade group. It's what I named our parade group in 2016, which was the first year we marched in the Dragon Con parade together. So that's how that started. And I kind of named it a cult because there was a joke when I was in college. There was this like whole Cult of Zan thing, which is just a nickname a friend gave me. So I kind of had that cult thing in my head since then. And then when it came time to pick a name for my parade group, because a lot of parade groups have a banner and you need something to put on the banner and you march behind your banner and then people know what group you're with. So I had to come up with a name for the banner, which I designed and printed. And that's the name I came up with, was the Cult of Marriott Carpet. So I know there were other representations of existing cults at Dragon Con before that, but they seem to be like general cults. I don't recall a cult being Dragon Con specific before the Cult of Marriott Carpet, if that makes sense. Like I know there was the Cult of Scott Bakula, but they were kind of everywhere. They weren't just Dragon Con. So anyway, I'm pretty proud of that. But the whole thing all started in 2013 when Harrison Cricks, who's the owner of Vulpin Props, and some of his friends decided to make their own soldier costumes, but instead of the standard camouflage, they used the pattern of the then Marriott carpet. And their costumes were just an immediate internet sensation. And that's when it really took off. And then the carpet itself was removed from the Marriott after Dragon Con in 2015. And then people went to the dumpster and they collected it and they started selling it online. And Harrison Cricks made a free digital version of the pattern and gave it away for free. so that people could make their own outfits since his and his friends were so very popular. And so I emailed him and I was like, hey, this is great, but it's a giant pattern. And I wanted a smaller version so that I could like print it on dresses or smaller items. And basically, he runs a business, and basically he was like, thank you, I'm flattered, but I don't really have time. I'm done. Like, he had moved on to other projects. So I said, okay. And I made it myself and then did the same thing he did and gave it away for free. So I've been giving away the carpet pattern for free in various sizes and various resolutions, because you might want a different resolution for a different product. I've been giving it away for free since 2017. And I think between me and Harrison, basically making digital assets available for free online helped other people express their own creativity. So that's the short version.
As a result, we've seen like, this has kind of given rise to a bunch of like sort of subsects of the Marriott carpet thing.
Yeah,
we have the
dinos.
Later. Yeah, we've got the dinos. We have Mera. We'll get to Mera in a minute, but Mera with the marching band and the color guard and the Deadpools and the cheerleaders, like the Quidditch team. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. But I guess we can maybe kind of expunge on that a bit in a bit. Do we want to move on?
Yeah, I thought the parade group was going to be one and done. Honestly, I was fully prepared for that.
It just kept going.
I thought, because I had no idea how many people were actually going to show up. Whenever you send out an invite and people click going, how many people actually show up, right? Like, I had no idea. But then people actually showed up and their costumes were amazing. And I had been repeatedly told online that this was a bad idea, that nobody was going to get it, that everybody was going to forget about it by the next year. A lot of people, when I was trying to recruit and going, hey guys, join me, a lot of people were like, oh, everybody's going to be over it and moved on. And then, and I knew the Dragon Con parade announcers would understand what it was, because you have to write a little description and turn it into the parade so the parade announcers can announce what the next group is that's walking by where they're announcing from, because as announcers they can't possibly be expected to recognize every single costume in the parade, right? So I knew they would know what the Marriott carpet was. The CW, I think, was a little confused that year. but as marching in the parade, the people we walked by, they were like shocked and surprised, and we got a lot of applause. So immediately there was audience reaction. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing, and people kept wanting to join us. And like you said, now every year a parade group, gets additional people who want to contribute in their own way, with the dinosaurs and the marching band and the cheerleaders. And there was like a truck covered in the carpet pattern and a car. And like, it just doesn't end. It's just, I thought it was going to be one and done, but no, people are just I should have known, but people at Dragon Con are just incredibly creative. And it's just, it's amazed me how far it's gotten, really, and continues to grow.
Yeah. So actually, I think this would be a great way to segue to Mera and probably Sven in a minute too. But Mera, actually, can you explain what you kind of do, since that's very tied into the parade in a bit?
Well, yeah. So I'm actually here today to talk about a few of the cults.
Sure.
I've been around Dragon Con in various capacities since like 1996. And so I've witnessed the birth of most of the cults. My friends Josh Thomas and Amanda Young and I actually created the Unified Church of the Dragons in 2020 during the huge cult explosion, to help kind of record the history of the cults and promote unity, because we didn't want the cult of John to suddenly not get along with the cult of the carpet, and then of course there was always the cult of Trashy that existed. And so in that I kind of became a high priestess of the holy carpet, although Zan is, of course, the highest priestess of the holy carpet. I'm a follower of Trashy, a follower of Chad and Cardbordius. I'm a chicken farmer of the 36 eggs and the founder of the Marriott Carpet Marching Band and Color Guard, one of the founders of Marriott Carpet Cheerleaders, and the insanity behind that masquerade routine in 2019, and a Dragon Con Deadpool. A witness to the birth of the monolith on the masquerade stage in 2018, when our family was doing the P.T. Barnum Miss Peregrine's mashup. But today, I guess I'm here to really talk about the four of those colts. So the first is the Mera Carpet Marching Band and Color Guard, which is an offshoot of Zan's Cult of Mera Carpet. It was actually a project much longer in the making than many realize. We really began in 2019 after that convention, but the idea for it started way back in like somewhere between 2005 and 2010, I think. The parade director, Jan Price, who was an amazing woman, and I was lucky enough to count her among my friends. She and I were in the ICG together for a long time before I even realized she was a Dragon Con. But basically, she said one day, it'd be really great if there was a fandom marching band. Like, we can bring in all these high school bands, and we've got the Feed and Seed now, but it would be great if there was just one that was Dragon Con people who were just fans and loved music and were band geeks. And I went, I'm going to do this one day. And so for years, we just kind of joked about the fact that, I still hadn't done it. And so in 2017-ish, I started going, okay, well, let's come up with something I can kind of organize, and got together with Zan and some other people, and ended up putting together the Mera Carpet Cheerleaders. Not sure why cheerleaders always come before marching bands, but they do. And so that's how the cheerleaders came along. And then the marching band came along in 2019. But because the first year we would have marched was Dragon Con Goes Virtual, our first performance was actually a digital halftime show put together on a computer program and played at the end of the parade. So, we had a bunch of fun with it. If you're ever interested in finding us, we're on Facebook, we're on Discord. We always have plenty of room for people in the band, especially if you're a musician or a color guard. But then the second one is also the Dragon Con Deadpools. Dragon Con Deadpools kind of started before the rest of the cults. It was just a bunch of people that loved getting together and dressing up like Deadpool. Ended up coming up with a lot of fandom mashups. If you'd like to find out more about us, you can also find us on Facebook, or find any of the groups of Deadpools at con and say one of us. And we do adopt people very quickly. Just don't jump the parade banner, or, the little things that barricade us, because safety doesn't like that. But we also have an infamous conga line, and you can find us wherever chimichangas and tacos exist at con too. But for the last two cults, these are some of the newest. And you'll find them on Facebook, but you'll have to connect with other followers, I think mostly through the Unified Church of the Dragons. Let me tell you of the glory of Chad and Cardbordius. Chad and Cardbordius actually originated from the Dad's Garage improvised D&D panel run by Mark Meir during the 2020 Dragon Con Goes Virtual convention. So Chad is based on Colin Mockery. He was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And he was a guest. And his player was Brother Bartholomew, a level 6 lawful good human cleric who worshipped a deity named Chad, who protected the feet of his followers through comfortable footwear. So, of course, he was pretty quickly picked up by Dragon Con fans watching as the newest addition to the Pantheon, because anyone that's ever gone to Dragon Con knows you need comfortable footwear.
Oh, yes.
True followers of Chad have also reported a growing hankering for cheese once they discovered the path. So there's lots of things that are fun in the followers of Chad. And then, of course, another wonderful character from that Dad's Garage panel was played by Lucky Yates from TV's Archer. He was a guest player whose character, Cardbordius, was a cardboard puppet dragon. And so if you've ever watched the Dragon Con parade, of course, you know about all the cardboard superheroes, right? These guys have been around for a while. And so the dragon being made out of cardboard was basically just ridiculously engaging. And so fans that were watching in the Dragon Con Discord chat quickly came to love him. He's a chaotic neutral character, but he was mostly just chaos. He was called Cardbordius the Green. He was actually red. And he's a level 6 Dragonborn rogue who somehow manages to barely meet his requirements at traps and talking his way into places and with hardly believable stories. But together with their 4 other compatriots, the party set off to do what they were best at, killing things in the hopes of opening a restaurant with the earnings from their party's conquests. Some say that restaurant is actually the Dragon Con suite of fabled lore, but few have actually found that that is the case.
You know what? That's actually a good segue to go to Tony, whose rise was because of the fabled con suite. Tony, would you like to explain the 36 dozen eggs?
Sure. Not to be smirched, the fantastic con suite, which is available to all Dragon Con fans throughout the convention. In the Hyatt, there's another hospitality suite for the guests and professionals. The guest hospitality suite, also located in the Hyatt. I began my very long tenure with Dragon Con way back in 2001, and I was responsible for about 7 years of boiling 36 dozen eggs and shelling them. So that long ago, it wasn't as easy to come by fully boiled shelled eggs that you can get by the bulk now in most of your major supermarkets. So I would make them by hand. I would shell them and keep them in a cooler full of ice for the entire weekend of Dragon Con. And we would bring them out for breakfast for like hard-boiled eggs. And at lunch, we would make egg salad sandwiches. And at dinner, I would make deviled eggs and put a little bit of caviar or roasted red bell pepper or something on top of the deviled egg to make it look a little more elevated for our cocktail receptions each evening. So I was just telling that exact same story on a panel over our virtual show back in 2020, and Discord and other areas of social media latched onto it. And so after the panel was over, I was alerted by many people that there was now social media pages dedicated to the cult of 36 dozen eggs. So that's how the story was born. And so I was super flattered, of course. I mean, anytime anybody tells a story that's engaging enough to want to create its own social media network, you can only be flattered. But having been with Dragon Con for over 20 years now, it's really nice to see how fans latch on to a key moment that brought them so much happiness and joy and recreate it, and the education that's given to future fans as they come to Dragon Con to find out about its history. I think that's what adds the longevity to our show, and I'm super proud of it.
Okay, hey, Tony, real quick, would you mind telling the part about what happened in a future town hall meeting with the eggs? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because that you can't leave that out. That story's too good. You got to tell that part.
Well, I'm responsible for Dragon Con town halls, and unbeknownst to myself, one of our co-hosts had circulated some egg costumes to the other co-hosts, and we were all in agreement that we would be wearing our vampire attire as kind of like a con in review episode where the glorious hosts of the virtual parade for the 2020 show spoke as if they were from What We Do in the Shadows. And so we kind of spun off of that and had fun with it. And when I came on screen, everyone had donned all of these different egg costume pieces, much to my horror and dismay, because we were a live show and I didn't know how to continue. So I just pretended and stayed in character until the very end, and someone made me laugh quite, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I can't believe you remembered that Zan.
Yeah, it was like watching somebody on Saturday Night Live break. Like, it was amazing. Yeah. Like, Tony was trying so hard to keep his cool, and you could just I mean, and he did keep his cool, but it was, it was so funny, like the reaction.
It was a fan that asked a question, and they were trying to come up with like a scientific term for 36 dozen eggs. And it was called a Gowell, which is my last name.
Yeah.
That's what caused me to break. So it was a fan asking a question, and when it came up on the screen in front of me, I broke character. I was like, "That's hilarious."
If a Gowell isn't in Urban Dictionary, it should be.
It should be a 36 dozen eggs.
You can actually order a Gowell of eggs when you come to any local Virginia farmers market that us chicken farmers are at now.
Are you serious?
That is perfect. I love it.
I'll check my mailbox for my royalties check. It's a testament to fans that hold on to a story that touches them. So you never know when something you say, who is listening, and what may happen as a result. So super proud and honored to have been a part of something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to transition a little bit to our other, what I would argue is probably the second biggest cult here, which is the cult of FedEx John. And for that, I am going to turn this over to Mike and Ken. Will you guys take it away? And please explain the madness that is whatever happened to that cardboard cutout.
Under his googly eye.
Under his googly eye.
Mike, if you want to handle the genesis, then maybe I will hop in and elaborate some and handle what happened afterward.
Yeah. So, I mean, the best thing I think to explain it's funny that you were mentioning earlier that people thought that this is just a thing, like for the cult of Marriott carpet. Oh, this is, people will have forgotten about it, because if there's anything I've learned about the people of DragonCon, it's that the fans of DragonCon will take a joke and I guess for lack of a better term, they'll beat a dead horse until the joke becomes funny again. And so really, I think what happened with us was we had heard, one of the things for all the people who are new to DragonCon, you'll learn that between a lot of the host locations, there are sky bridges and walkways so that you don't have to brave the hot Atlanta heat when you're in full costume in many cases. And between the Marriott Hotel and I believe it's the Peachtree Center food court, I don't know the right term for it, but between those two, there happened to be, I guess, a FedEx drop-off. And at that location, we had a cardboard cutout that was just, at the beginning of the con, it was just an everyday advertisement for FedEx, and by the end of the con, it had evolved into something much different. Ken, I think you have the timeline more distinct, but essentially this over time, this cardboard cutout began to collect regalia.
Yes, people began expressing themselves on the cardboard cutout, but to me, very special when people started leaving offerings to
it. Yes. And
stray beer, cups of pudding, candy. Full glasses, things that there were definitely chunks of the Marriott carpet left as an offering to John. And then at some point the cardboard, the embodiment of John disappeared from the location. And the initial assumption had been that somebody was cleaning up and said, oh, this thing, we can't keep this here. But instead, John started to make appearances around the con. I believe there are stories of him perhaps gracing room parties in the Hyatt, or he made it to the Hilton.
Hilton. Yep. But he, from the place of his offering, all of his offerings sat, and he had disappeared. And kind of the reason that I think that Ken and I ended up becoming involved is, I believe it was Monday night. It was very well. It's nebulous. It was 3 a.m. So whichever you consider that to be the day before or that day, it was very late. And suddenly he had reappeared. There was a resurrection of sorts.
And so now, who has John now? Does somebody have the original John now?
No,
no.
Yeah, I think he got trashed. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he's with Trashy now.
Yep.
That's sad.
I think so there is a great thread on Facebook, and it gets shared every now and then, of just the progression of John throughout. I think it started. So one thing that's sort of been a joke for years is putting sticky backed googly eyes on stuff.
Yes.
Which is, technically vandalism, but they did start by putting two different sized eyes, which I think made it even funnier, onto John, and they drew the eyebrows and mustache and evil grin, and it just escalated from there. And if you can find that post of all the different pictures, it is incredible.
Yeah, somebody should bump that post. I want to read it.
We will hopefully have it for the live version.
Awesome. Perfect.
Right. Yeah. And we thought, again, as Mike was saying, as Zan was saying, oh, that's that, ha, ha, ha. So, we started a Facebook group,
And it keeps getting people in it. And, years after the incident, we're at, I know this is dwarfed by the ancient and distinguished Marriott carpet cult, but I would have never guessed that we would have 4,500 members in that group.
Whew.
And there's actually one thing I like to highlight, and you can see my background picture is us, and the thing I always like to point out, because this just speaks volumes to me about the group of people at DragonCon, is that you can see Ken and I are in this photo, and we had discovered that at the right near where the shipping thing was, like I said, it was a drop off place, and there they had these the plastic paper
Mylar envelope.
the Mylar envelopes, and we discovered that if you put them on your head, they just so happen to kind of take on the resemblance of something you would see in like a more orthodox I guess religion. But the thing I love, this is the kind of a highlight of the type of people you'll meet. Ken and I really didn't know this person. We put the hat on, and he was like, "I'm putting the hat on too," and so we developed a new friend just because it was 3 a.m. and we're all wearing envelopes on our head. And
also off screen from that background picture of Mike is a security guard who has no idea what is going on, but is completely happy to let it happen.
Right, he's all right.
So one of the cool things that actually ended up happening in the year later, because we didn't know 2020 was coming, was I think we managed to actually track down the stock actor, the stock photo actor, who was actually planning to attend DragonCon in 2020 before the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah,
and so and I think he's mentioned he wants to come, but he just hasn't been able to get it to.
Right.
But that's how big this got.
That's amazing.
And one of the things that I love is that happened very quickly. That was like the day after this picture was people like, "Hey, we found the actor."
Right.
And
who was looking for spare money on the side and did this quick little
right. As most actors are, they sign up for a thing, they do the gig, they go, and then it just. But it was interesting. The other thing, and this is John and his infinite wisdom, I think that a cult dedicated to celebrating their delivery drivers literally formed the year before delivery drivers became some of the most important people in the world.
Yes.
And that's actually been one of the greatest things about Facebook is just the celebration of everyday delivery guys.
Right. And people getting pictures with their delivery driver just because, and then I'm sure having to have an awkward conversation explaining why they wanted a picture with them. And
well, fantastic. So I think that covers a lot of the main ones. I do want to transition over to the proprietor of the Drunken Dragon Hotel himself, who is actually able to sort of ends up making a lot of the merch that we end up wearing, or things to celebrate the carpet, or John, or well, in this case, just cults in general. So Sven, do you want to sort of explain maybe a little bit of what you do and sort of your involvement in all of this?
Absolutely.
Yay.
Hey, greetings from Germany.
Oh, wow.
I didn't make it back, but I came to DragonCon I saw the Marriott carpet last year when it was around, and then on the next year it was gone. That was the first DragonCon for me, and my wife and her brother introduced me to DragonCon. It's like, why you guys didn't tell me earlier about it? And that was great. So then I saw the carpet and the soldiers wearing the camouflage, and the next year or the year after, I had the pattern. And then I made a Hawaiian shirt out of it for myself as a fun costume because I like the tiki culture. And I posted it on Facebook that I should have not done that. And then hundreds of people were bothering me because they wanted one too. And it's like, yeah, okay, I guess I can share. And then I told them I can order them for them one too. And I think it was 150 or something. It was crazy. And then we all were like a posse, and we ran around there, and we met each other. And every time when you see someone, it's like, hey, how are you, man? Who are you? It's like, oh, I made it. And so we are a little gang now. And I think we're now hundreds and hundreds of people with different variations of the carpet. I made an 80s theme, and every year I make 2 or 3. It's so much fun, and I have fans who collect it, and I've also making a bunch of other things for all the other memes and for print things. I have a printing company, so so I can print very quick.
For one holiday season, you sent me the deviled egg holiday ornament to put on my tree. Thank you very much. That was very sweet.
Yeah, I'm very quick with that. So like the clothes for cleaning thing that was just like popping up like 5 days before DragonCon, and I had already merch and swag, and the people were freaking out, and the people who came up with it, they were so much fun to hang out with, and to see the whole thing growing and people just coming together. It's great for newbies. If you're a newbie and you see like a random thing, just join it. It's in the end, it's just fun. And when you walk around, you see costumes and you understand the costume, and not everybody, but most of them understand it. And it's always like it brings you a little smile in your face for free. And joining is for free. You can join all the cults, I think, for free. And it's just fun to participate. And for me, I have a printing company. It's very boring most of the times, and that is just my creative outlet where I'm trying to just have fun, and it's not like have any restrictions to myself. So it's my creative outlet where I can help people, and people write me like, "Hey, can you do something for us? This?" It's like, "Sure, I can do it," and also very spontaneously. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's really cool because then we can all take home sort of like a piece of it. Like if you're new to it, or you don't not really sure how to get into the fandom, or like you have a lot of stuff on there that lets us have a sort of a piece of each individual thing. And it's a lot, but it's all strictly only for DragonCon. I'm trying not to have anything else in there. It's just like DragonCon memes sort of based on DragonCon. Make my own content, or maybe make a variation of the carpet, and that's beloved. And well, last year when the COVID happened with the variants, I made like a variant shirt with a carpet and the lion with the horns from Loki, and the Marriott shirt was fun. It's really fun. This year I'm going to have like a little vending machine at DragonCon hidden somewhere.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, you guys are the first ones to know.
Oh my gosh!
So it's going to be at America Smart, a vending machine, very creatively funny looking, somewhere hidden in the corner. You can buy your stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Ooh, make it look like a monolith.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to make it look like a FedEx box.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Something.
Do you have any of the merchandise that you can show us that might be available at the show for fans?
Not right now. I'm in Germany. I don't have anything with me, unfortunately. But it's like I have so much good things. I can explain you one thing. It's a pin, and it's the all-seeing eye as a triangle. Yes. But the all-seeing eye is just the all-seeing eye as a googly eye. So you can have a pin. You can shake it, and it's a triangle. Like the all-seeing eye, what you see on the dollar bill. Yeah.
I ordered 2 of them. I was so excited.
I love that. That's super cool.
Yeah, so I made that fictional hotel where you can like stay at, but you can also buy DragonCon things, and this is how it looks like. And
I'll be real, Sven. I really wish this was a real hotel and I could stay there, because I want to stay in that 80s room so bad. Oh my gosh.
And I make some cool swag with DragonCon official together this time. I did it like 2 times before. Some hand fans, so you stay cool.
I'm very excited about
you're all gonna be a big fan of it.
Yeah,
they blow, and all kinds of fun things.
Gosh,
love it.
Swag and ribbons are part of the way that DragonCon old timers identify which tribe they're in, and I think people need to understand every tribe is happy to have you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Please.
That's one of the things I love most is that these things have allowed, the carpet pattern has lived on. There are people now that make costumes and celebrate it that never saw the original carpet in its place. Like my wife loves the carpet pattern, never saw it in the hotel. She didn't start coming until after.
Yep.
Well, actually, what day do you arrive?
Yes.
Yeah.
What day do you get to DragonCon, Mike?
I now do it on Wednesdays.
Because do you know about our Wednesday night meetup?
I did not.
Okay, so breaking news to Mike. Every Wednesday since Wednesday night, usually at 11 p.m., I have a free photo op where people bring back the carpet. So people like bring the carpet squares, because like we talked about originally when they tore out the carpet in December of 2015, people were throwing the carpet away in dumpsters. And then I saw live people posting on Facebook and other social media sites, they were driving to the dumpsters and picking up the carpet. And then some of them kept it and some of them got so much carpet that they resold it on Etsy or eBay or wherever. So on Wednesday nights at 11 p.m., right outside where the information booth would be on the lower level in the Marriott, like you get to the Marriott lobby and you take the escalators as far down as they can go. Mm-hmm. On that level, we have a meetup and it's a free photo shoot and we reassemble the carpet with the carpet people brought. And also I have a big piece of fabric printed out that looks like the carpet, even though it's just a piece of fabric. And so we have this free photo shoot and it's a memorial for the carpet. So it's a way for people to get a picture of themselves on the carpet, you know, even if they didn't start coming until after the carpet was torn out. And it's also a memorial for Trashy. We have a big Trashy replica. Trashy is this trash can that got removed. It was this whole big Facebook thread where it was kind of a satire of how people will complain over silly things. So people, this gentleman, Jimmy Burns, he made a Facebook post about how this trash can had been removed and the trash can's name was Trashy and now DragonCon wasn't the same and DragonCon doesn't care about their fans because they moved this trash can. And it was just ridiculous.
So it sucked.
They changed this one insignificant thing and now my convention experience is ruined. You know, just people are overly dramatic on the internet. So then the post got like 1,000 comments, which is crazy for a post about a trash can, right? So we resurrect Trashy at this photo op is what I'm saying. So you can get your picture taken with Trashy on the traditional Marriott carpet. And then over the years, it's become a memorial for more things, like the blue postcards that DragonCon used to mail out for their membership, but now they've gone digital. So some people were sad that they don't get blue postcards anymore. So one gentleman printed out a giant blue postcard and he brought it to the memorial. And then, you know, like a human size, like a 6 foot, it was like this giant postcard.
I saw cosplay as the blue postcard.
Yes.
Yeah, that too. You know, it's just another example of things. So anyway, Wednesday night, free photo shoot. You basically just bring your own camera and take a picture and people bring their own props. I bring a bunch of the props and then people bring their own props, but that's Wednesday night at 11 p.m. And that's my little way of including people who were not there to experience the carpet. You can experience it on Wednesday night.
Yeah. So actually that's kind of a good, we don't have a ton of time left, but I was going to say, what is kind of generally speaking, ways for other people who might be interested or who want to get involved? What is a good way to sort of join, I guess, or get identified with it, or just join in the fun, basically?
I'm to DragonCon. That's the first step.
Well,
exactly.
yes, definitely.
Thank your delivery
You can
driver.
join us.
Mera's, you're muted, my love.
And following up on what I'd say before, every tribe is wants you as part of them. If you see somebody weird that looks interesting, go talk to them, and I'm sure they will tell you more than you ever wanted to hear about where their cult came from.
Yeah, like what Zan was talking about earlier, how people like to go on Facebook and post things that they miss or things that, you know, particularly influence them at con and that kind of thing. That's where you'll find a lot of, if you go into the DragonCon Facebook and you just put in carpet or Eska later. I mean, there's a whole cult about, you know, escalators that were removed from the Hilton.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of ways to find things you never thought you'd commiserate with people over, and also fun ways to celebrate DragonCon and the amazing family that all of these cults are really a part of. Because I think the cults are really more of a kind of mechanism for being close with other fans of the con. I mean, Dragon
Absolutely.
Con is a huge family.
Right.
And whether you've been going for a year or for 30 years, you've met people at con, you've done things at con that make it feel like home, or you wouldn't keep coming back.
Right.
And
Right.
so, it's just the cults are a way to keep the con going all year round.
Right. And that's really how Dragon Con differs from any other place, is that in a lot of ways you really could not to denigrate any of the hard work that everybody does putting it together, but with Dragon Con, I almost feel like you could have a year where there were where no celebrities, there were no panels or anything, but as long as the people gathered, it would feel
You can have a
exactly
con
the same.
of Dragon Con.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, there's a midpoint gathering every year downtown at the hotel. I think it happens at the Hilton, or maybe it's Marriott. I never remember. Maybe there are two. But it's a bunch of people that come into town. Some of them are from Atlanta. Some come from Tennessee and all the way down to Florida. And they
It has
come
a
in
personality
and
of its
and
own.
they just drink and hang out.
Right.
Yeah, halfway to Dragon Con. Yeah.
Halfway to
And I
Dragon Con.
would also say another really easy way to join in, and it's something, if you're a first timer, you may not know about this, but you'll see it pretty quickly because it's gotten very popular, is badge ribbons.
Yes.
Which you can collect. People get extremely long badge ribbons.
Yes.
You put them on your
That's gonna
badge.
be
You can
the
put
new
them on your
thing.
person. Badge ribbons or stickers. Like, you can find, like, that's a real fun way. There's also I don't want to give out a quick shout out to Swag and Seek, where you can find stuff hidden throughout the con, which is another reason why some of the cults that we didn't even talk about here started. But I think those are both really good ways to sort of like get involved. As Mera mentioned, there's the Unified Church of the Dragons, which is just sort of like trying to accept all of them as opposed to just any. I forgot to even mention this at the beginning. I did the art for the Coexist logo that goes around. You
Oh,
see
I
every
love
now
that.
and then.
That's
Yeah, I love
beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's a nice piece of artwork. And the great thing about that piece of artwork is it's exactly what we were going for with the Unified Church of the
Right.
Dragons, which no matter which pantheon or whatever you're following in the Dragon Con family, it just unifies everything. And it is the amazingness of Dragon Con in one graph.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for ribbons, if people want more information on how to make your own ribbons, there's a Facebook group called
Yes.
Loyal Order of the Ribbon, and
Yes.
they have who you can order from and recommended badge sizes. The badge width is 3.5 inches. I know a lot of people like that as the badge width because then it will be perfectly matched up to hang off the bottom of your Dragon Con badge.
But the
Exactly.
4-inch ones go along the side beautifully too.
Also, yes.
I'm waiting for people to create these huge crosses of badge ribbons.
Oh, I've
and
seen
they're all
that.
just
Oh,
down.
yeah. I've seen
I've
like
seen
out.
the crosses. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that might be our time, but you guys have all been incredible. For anybody who is watching, please feel free to get involved. It has been an absolute blast every year to watch everything involved. I don't know what's going to happen this year. I'm sure we'll get some new cults. But if you want, or you see anybody around, just ask them about this. Join in the fun if you want to. You can make stuff if you want to. But other than that, I think that's basically it. And until then, we will see you at Dragon Con. I'm so excited.
Me
And have fun at your
too.
con. Yes.
Me
Dragon
too.
Con.
Can't
Bye,
wait.
everyone.
Bye. We love you. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen.